Hey guys, I hope you're well. So I don't know if you're watching the news about Congo, but Paul Kagame has become some kind of a rock star now. He's pretty much criticizing the UN for the fact that they have been in the Congo for over 10 years and they haven't achieved anything. And now there are quite a lot of people actually thinking about his words, about what he said. And many people totally agree with what he's saying. And there are facts in his argument, blaming the UN, blaming the Congolese government for the problems that are happening in Congo today. He's pretty much saying that there are Tutsis in Congo, in the eastern part, that they haven't been given the same rights as other Congolese. He's actually saying that the Congolese president, the current one, whose name is Felix, he hasn't been elected, and many other things. Well, today, the US has intervened together with the UN, obviously, asking for a ceasefire in the conflict in Congo. Now, if you think about it, the reaching an agreement with Paul Kagame for ceasefire when he's been constantly saying that Rwanda is not involved whatsoever in the problems in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Okay, I don't know if you know history of the Congo, but the Rwandan army has intervened at least twice, together with Congolese warlords, to take over the government, and they have successfully taken the government. They have marched from the east all the way to the capital and have taken the government, and they have placed individuals in Congo that they were more sympathetic towards them or towards the Western interest in the country. Now, a ceasefire, to be honest with you, doesn't mean anything. The problem in the Congo is not necessarily a war between two factions. The problem in the Congo is a continuous massacre of the eastern population of the country, which have been subjugated, which have been put under pressure from paramilitary groups supported by Rwanda. Remember, Paul Kagame used to say that he's not involved, he doesn't know who the M23 is. Well, him and the president of Uganda, Mr. Museveni, they're involved in this. Not only that, every, let's say, 4 or 5 years, there is a problem in the Congo. Just like there is a problem in the Palestine. Yeah. And it's always the same. Rebels. Lately, they try the Islamist card as well, because there's some Islamists in the eastern part of the Congo. And obviously, this is used, as I say in my previous video, to destabilize the country. Okay. Now, who is Paul Kagame? Because many of you might see him as a very strong president who talks his mind to power, to big organizations like the United Nations and to other countries that dare to criticize him. Well, for those of you who don't know, Paul Kagame, he was a military guy. He was an individual who was born during the colonial times, okay? Belgium used to rule the country, and then when they gained independence from Belgium, he did move to Uganda. Okay, those two countries, Uganda and Rwanda, were kind of together. Then he moved to Uganda, where he studied, where he lived with his family, and obviously there were Tutsis, ethnic Tutsis, okay? The Hutus controlled Rwanda back in the time. The only difference between these two groups, although many people have pointed out at their phenotypes, at the differences in the face, physical, skin color, I would say the main difference is no more that a social and economic difference, where during the colonial time, the Tutsis were pretty much given control over the management of the finances, administrative roles in the colony, whilst the Hutus were given the agricultural work, the hard work. So obviously, the Tutsis were a minority and the Hutus were a majority. But for some reason, as many of you might know already, The colonial powers put the minority in power, in rule. Obviously, the chemistry work during the what we call the G crime in Rwanda, okay, back in the 2000s. So you have the G crime, you have Paul Kagame, you have the Hutus. Paul Kagame, he he joined the Ugandans, okay, when they also carry out a coup d'état in the country to remove the military rule that was in place to replace it by another military rule. Then he created his own military unit, form of Tutsis, because many Ugandans dislike the Tutsis in the country. So he formed his military unit, form of Tutsis, and they decided to go to Rwanda and claim what they claimed was theirs. So the war started, okay, and the rest is history. Do you know what happened? Obviously, the Hutu president got basically was attacked. His plane was attacked, and then they blame it on the Tutsis, etc., etc. Many Hutus fled to Congo, to the eastern part, and since then, since the 2000, Paul Kagame has been the president. That was 2000. I believe we are in 2025 now. So when Paul Kagame comes out saying that the current president of Congo wasn't elected and there's no democracy or whatever, and there's quite a lot of corruption, he doesn't look at himself and think, oh, I've been in power for 25 years. I've been winning elections in Rwanda with 99% of the votes. Although there are many reports of him chasing political opponents. Many of them are Tutsis that are criticizing him for being in power for 25 years. So let's say 24 years. That's a very long time if you think about it. So how comes a president who took power through military means became the president of that country with obviously US support, because he did train in the USA together with other Tutsi forces, and then he's criticizing other countries for the political instability based on the fact that he's been in power for 24 years. That's enough to say that that's not really a democratic rule. It's not really a democratic rule. You can call it whatever you want to, a monarchy if you want to, but that's a long time in power. And this is something that he failed to address because he knows that this is wrong. Not only that, the guy is his net worth is $500 million today. Okay, $500 million. I think his salary is around 69K a year or 70K a year. Okay, so how can a man be worth $500 million, be the president of a country for 24 years, and come in public to criticize others? Okay, not only that, as I say, he's been prosecuting the political opponent. Many of them have taken refuge in South Africa. Okay, and obviously, when he comes and say that he's not involved in the war in Congo, in the past he used to say the Hutus, they're the ones getting into Rwanda and creating problems for the Rwandans. Okay, that's why he was forced to go into Congo, in the eastern part of Congo, fight the Hutu threat, and in the meantime also go and take over the government in Congo. So they have been doing this for a very long time. And it's not just Rwanda, you also have Uganda collaborating with Rwanda on this. You also have Burundi collaborating with Rwanda in this. These three small countries, they stabilize a huge country like the Congo. Obviously, you need to understand that the Congo is huge, but it doesn't mean that there is a lot of people living in the Congo. Most of the Congo is jungle. There are places that they haven't even been discovered. Okay, so it's a massive country, and the capital of the country is on the other side. So when you have problems in the east and people criticize the government because they don't have enough troops in the east, you need to understand that the country is administered from the other side. So it's difficult to get troops there. Then, Mr. Paul Kagame criticizes the UN and the inaction in the Congo. Okay? Now, What are they supposed to be doing? I also criticize the UN, and I will pretty much agree with his argument. But the UN are sending peacekeepers. They're not sending assault units to go and kill the rebels. They're just there to make sure that the local population don't get abused. They're just there to make sure that the two parties that are part of this so-called conflict, which is a hybrid conflict, which is a proxy conflict, they are in peace with each other and they don't attack each other. Okay? Now, he's criticizing the UN for being present and doing nothing. But he's not referring to the fact that there are also Rwandan soldiers in Congolese soil. What are they doing in Congolese soil? And they're whose authority or who invited them to come into Congo? There's one thing you need to understand, guys, and is that this territory in the eastern part of the Congo is mineral rich. Okay, it's mineral rich. There are many minerals in this part of the Congo, and one of the main minerals that is used today for technological advancements is cobalt or coltan. Okay, Uganda, together with Canada and North Korea, they are the countries that export the most of this mineral. Okay, but Rwanda is one of those that exports loads, although that then themselves, they do not have this mineral in the country. So there's something here that needs to be explained. How come a small country with pretty much no mineral resources, okay, is one of the major exporters of cobalt and is the same country that is occupying the eastern part of the Congo and supporting rebel forces like M23 to stay in that part of the country, which they say they bring injustice to the local population because the Congolese forces are attacking them. Okay, so this doesn't make sense to many of you. But for those that understand the dynamics, it makes a lot of sense. If you understand that this is a proxy war, that these guys are there to secure, okay, a direct line of the extraction and exportation of minerals, key minerals for the advancements of many technological companies in the West, in the East, and many other parts of the world. So as I said before, the Congo is cursed. Due to the mineral wealth, they are cursed. It's actually almost impossible to get rid of this curse because the whole world depends on pretty much many of the minerals that are in the Congo today. Many of these countries have an interest in the country because of this. So, when Paul Kagame criticizes the UN for doing nothing, guys, you need to bear in mind that he is present in the Congo. Okay? Not only that, as I said at the beginning of the video, now he does agree with the US to reach a ceasefire in the eastern part of the Congo. So if he's not present, if he's not supporting the M23, why is he agreeing with the US for a ceasefire? And these M23 rebels, they'll pretty much respect that ceasefire. Not only that, I've shared videos on Telegram. There are many reports of Rwandan troops found in the middle of the jungle. Like, they don't even know where they're going. Yeah, many of them have been captured. They've been seen with Rwandan flags, with pictures of them when they were when they were younger in the military. I mean, how can he come on TV and say this? Well, I know why. Because many individuals don't know the actual history. Many individuals, they just see what they showed them on TV. When you have Connie, it was a massive fraudulent campaign to get finances in order to fight against Connie, a warlord in the eastern part of the Congo, which was Ugandan, and he was terrorizing the people of the Congo. So then you have to get an American guy to raise funds in order to fight against this warlord, who was never found. And the locals knew that he was a legend. He was once an individual, but that guy just perished. We don't even know how he died, how he disappeared, but he was no longer there. But they continue making money, making propaganda with him, his image. And the same thing goes with the M23 and with all these Islamist terrorism that they want to bring into the country now. So I just wanted to make this video to make you aware of who this person is, who he really is, what he does, how long he's been in power, how much he's worth, and to make you understand that when you see African leaders talking like him, don't always fall for the lies, because they're hiding the real intents and they're hiding the real actions. The main problem of the Congo today is not Paul Kagame, is not Rwanda. Rwanda is no more than a country taking actions in order to secure those resources. The main problem comes from different places that have an interest of continued exploitation of the Congolese people. So I hope you like this video. Please share this video, like this video, show it to your friends, share my profile, and I'll continue informing you.